Whenever I miss home, I always go back to authentic Greek recipes, as that's my way of bringing a bit of sunny Greece in rainy England. So in this video, I'm sharing what I eat in a day, recreating some of my favorite Greek recipes that always remind me of home. And make sure you stick till the end, as I'll be sharing one of Greece's most popular dishes, but with a twist. If you've been to Greece, you know that one of our most popular Greek breakfasts is tyropita, aka a cheese pie. And even though I love a good old classic tyropita, sometimes I don't have the time to open my own phyllo, so this is the lazy version that comes together so quickly and tastes absolutely delicious. And it's perfect for beginners. To make it, I grabbed a big bowl and started by cracking 3 eggs in it. I gave it a whisk and then added some Greek yogurt and gave it another whisk to incorporate well. I then added some flour and some oats. And now for the cheese, I'll be using feta, cheddar and some ricotta, but you can also use whatever cheese you have laying around in your fridge. I grated the cheddar and then added it to the bowl together with the ricotta and the feta that I crumbled up with my hands. I added a few tablespoons of olive oil and seasoned with salt and pepper. And now you don't have to add the tomatoes, but I was really craving them, so I chopped about a handful of baby tomatoes in small pieces and added them to the same bowl. I then folded the mixture with a spatula, making sure everything is incorporated. I grabbed a baking pan, added some olive oil in it, and then spread it around with my hands to ensure the pita doesn't get stuck in the pan. I emptied the tyropita mixture in the pan and spread it evenly with my spatula. Lastly, I topped with some sesame seeds and then put it in a preheated oven to bake. And while my tyropita is baking, I'm grabbing some fruit from the fridge to have as part of my breakfast. And today's selection is orange and kiwi. I just love oranges, especially when they're tangy. They're one of my favorite fruits. And it's so nice to start the day with some fruit. It instantly makes me feel healthy. So I just chopped the orange, and I know I'm wasting some of the orange with how I'm cutting it, but I don't really like the white bit of the orange, so I found this is a good way to not have any of the pith. I then chopped my kiwi too and added both fruits in a little bowl and enjoyed while I was waiting for my pita to finish baking. I've been loving starting my day with some fruit or fresh orange juice. I know having the whole fruit is better, but I just can't help it. I just love freshly squeezed orange juice. Let's have a bit of orange. It's so fresh. I got the Emperor oranges from Tesco. They're just so delicious. And the kiwi is great too. It's not too sour. Not that I wouldn't mind it if it was too sour, but yeah, it's nice and sweet with a bit of tang, which I like. So good. And now my pita is ready. I finished baking it covered with foil, as the top was nice and golden, but the inside it needed a bit more cooking, so this is the perfect way to make sure it's fully cooked without burning the top. I cut it in medium pieces and served myself some to enjoy. Now for the main event, I made the lazy tyropita. So with this you don't have to open a phyllo, which is great. You can obviously use ready-made phyllo, it's just harder to find in the UK, so this is perfect when you want tyropita but you don't have the time or you can't find the phyllo. So let's give it a try because it smells amazing. I decided to add some tomato because I just fancied it. The original recipe, when I made it, I didn't add tomato and I had different cheeses, but that's the beauty of this recipe. You can just add whatever cheese you have in the fridge. Obviously you need feta because it's not a tyropita if it doesn't have feta. It's a good recipe to just clean out the fridge or whatever you have, like bits and bobs. So yeah, let's try. It's so good, and the tomato has given it such nice flavor. It made it a bit more summery. So good. I just love fresh tomato. That's not fresh, but you know what I mean. Yeah, and you can also add other vegetables. You can do courgette, you can do pepper, olives. I want to do one with like kind of like a Greek salad, so all the elements of Greek salad, minus the cucumber, obviously. I'm happy. It's great for breakfast, great for lunch if you want to have some salads and then have that on the side, because obviously it has a bit of protein from the eggs and the feta and the cheeses. This would be perfect for a picnic because it is so yummy cold as well. So I'm hoping the weather in the UK will be better so we can actually have a picnic outside. Let's have some more. So this morning, I don't know if it happens to you, I woke up and I had a random craving for a dish that my mom used to make while I was in Greece. It was my favorite meal when I was growing up. It's called, she called it patates bloom, but it also has chicken. So it's like a tomato stew with chicken and potatoes, and it's just so good. So this morning I texted my mom and she gave me the recipe. It seems very easy, so let's make it. To make it, I grabbed an onion and some potatoes. I chopped the onion in medium pieces and then added some olive oil to my pan and added the onion to saute for a few minutes. If you're enjoying this video so far, by the way, and would like to see more yummy recipes that taste like the sunshine, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future Mediterranean recipes. After the onion had a bit of time to cook, I added a pack of boneless chicken thighs and gave them a stir to make sure they get a nice color all around. And while that's on the stove, I washed and peeled my potatoes and then I chopped them in big wedges pieces. You can also chop them in whatever size and shape you like, you just need to make sure they're roughly similar size so they cook at the same time. I added them to the pan and gave everything a good stir so everything can get coated in the olive oil. I added some passata and then enough water to cover everything. I then added a couple of bay leaves. I forgot to add the cinnamon stick. If you have one, add that in at this point and then give it a stir and let it simmer until the chicken and potatoes are cooked through. I left mine for a couple of hours and the sauce thickened so well and everything was perfectly cooked, so I'm now serving myself a nice big portion for my lunch. And I'm sure you know by now, I like having a good lunch, often my main meal as my lunch, as I find that I'm hungrier earlier in the day and it means I can have a lighter dinner which helps me sleep better. My stew's ready, I can't wait. It smells so homely, so delicious. I can't wait to give it a try. And the potato is so soft. Very quick to make as well, I love a quick meal. The chicken's just falling off. I know it doesn't have a bone, but it's just melting and yeah. Let's see. It is so good. I haven't had this since I was little. It tastes exactly like how I remember my mom used to make it. And I'm just so happy I remember this recipe. It used to be my favorite. I don't know why I stopped requesting it or eating it. I don't know, but it's so good. If you don't like potatoes, you're crazy, but if you don't like them, you can have it with pasta, or you can have it with a good chunk of bread, like fresh bread, and dip that lovely sauce. I wish I had some bread, even though I have potato, but that sauce is asking for a bread to be dunked in. It's such perfect sauce. So good. Make it. So good. So good. I'm happy. So I just had my lunch, I took Elsie for a walk, and now of course I want something sweet. And the other day I decided to make a carrot cake and recipe test it to make my own recipe, and it turned out so delicious. It's not too sweet and it's healthy but not too healthy, because I don't like overly sweet things all the time. Obviously it's nice here and there, but if I have a sweet every day, I don't want it to be too sugary and stuff. So yeah, it turned out so delicious and I think it's time for a slice. I also made my own yogurt frosting, which is just so good. If you want the recipe for the carrot cake, let me know in the comments, I will film it for you. And yeah, let's have some cake. I love having sweet things that I've made already ready, because it's just so much easier to eat healthy. And maybe some people think this isn't healthy, but to me, if you compare this to a shop-bought biscuit or a cake, this is healthier because I made it. But let me know in the comments, what do you think? It's so good. And I feel like it's one of those cakes that the more you leave it, the texture becomes better, the taste it intensifies. It's so good. I think it's the third day of me making the cake. I think this is the tastiest one so far. Oh, it's so good. I'm gonna go enjoy it with some decaf coffee and some Gilmore Girls, of course. For my snack, I was actually very organized and had pre-made this chia seed / yogurt pot in advance, as I found my hunger levels have definitely increased recently now that I'm pregnant, so I always like to have easy and healthy snacks to grab and go. To make it, I started by making the chia seed pudding first, as the chia seeds need a bit of time to absorb the liquid, so to my bowl I added about a quarter cup of chia seeds and a cup of milk. I'm using oat milk as that's my favorite non-dairy milk, but you can use whatever you like. I also added a tablespoon of maple syrup for sweetness and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I gave it a good mix and let it on the side to thicken. In the meantime, I washed about a handful of strawberries and removed the tops. I then chopped them up in slices. After 20 to 30 minutes, the chia seeds look like this. You could also let it absorb the liquid a bit more, but I was impatient, so I'm starting to layer my yogurt pot. I grabbed a glass jar and added a couple of tablespoons of the chia seed pudding. To increase the protein and make this more creamy, I'm also using some Greek yogurt, so I added a few tablespoons of that in the middle, and then I tried to be artistic and add my strawberries on the side for a cool design. But it honestly doesn't matter, you can just layer them on top, it will just taste the same. I then added more Greek yogurt and another layer of strawberries. And for some crunch, I grabbed a handful of almonds and chopped them up in small pieces. Walnuts would also work great, but I was out, so I'm using almonds, but you can use whatever nut or seed you like. I added the almonds on top, and then of course I'm finishing with some Greek honey. I popped the lid on top and placed it in the fridge for a few hours. Smells so fresh. It's so good. Greek honey is just the best. Let me know in the comments if you agree, but it's just so flavorful, and my favorite is thyme honey. Yeah, this is amazing. Felt like something you would pick up at a healthy restaurant, healthy cafe, have it by the beach. And for my dinner, I was craving something fresh and healthy, and I can never get bored of Greek salad, but today I'm making it with a twist. And spoiler alert, if you've never had pie or beluga lentils, go out and buy some, as they are the most amazing lentils you will ever taste. To make the salad, I started by chopping an onion in small pieces. I then chopped about half a pepper in little cubes and also half a cucumber. I grabbed a handful or two of olives, and I prefer to use the unpitted ones as I find they are more flavorful, so I squeeze them to get the pit out easier, and then I chop them up in small pieces. I also grabbed some baby tomatoes and chopped them up in small pieces as well. Lastly, I grabbed about a block of feta and I'm chopping it up in small cubes. And for herbs, I'm using some mint today. And now onto assembling the salad. I started by emptying a packet of cooked pie lentils in my bowl. Beluga and pie lentils have been my favorite recently, and they work so well in salads. I then added all the chopped up vegetable and lots of olive oil. I gave it a mix, and then I realized I forgot the vinegar, so I'm adding that in too, and then a bit more olive oil and seasoning with a bit of salt. I gave it another good mix, and when ready to serve, I added some rocket too to make sure it doesn't get wilted if I add it too early. It's dinner time. I've already prepared a salad for my dinner, but I think I want something warm as well. And I have some sweet potatoes in the fridge. I know I shouldn't keep potatoes in the fridge, but I don't know where to keep them. But yeah, I have some sweet potatoes, so I thought I'd make some sweet potato fries in the oven and then have that with my salad, because that sounds delicious, and it will, I think the combination of the salad plus the warm sweet potato would be great. So let's make some sweet potatoes and let's have some dinner. So to make our sweet potato fries, I simply wash some potatoes and then chop them up in cheap sizes. I added them in a baking dish lined with baking paper and drizzled some olive oil. I seasoned with salt and pepper and then placed them in a preheated oven to bake for about 30 minutes. Also, let me know in the comments if you have an air fryer, because I'm really thinking about getting one, and I do have one, but it's actually quite small. Like the thing that you cook in is quite small, like it fits 4 falafels. So I feel like for a big family, or for like 2 people plus, not even a big family, it's just not very useful. So let me know in the comments if you have an air fryer, because I've heard so many people say it's changed their lives, and I always ask them, how big is your air fryer? So if you do have an air fryer, let me know how big it is, because I think I made a mistake when I bought mine and it's like not even a single portion air fryer. It's like, yeah, I do have big portions, so maybe it is a normal person's single portion, but let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions. I don't know, I always like to buy new things for the kitchen, so I probably don't need it, but I want it, you know? Be my enablers in the comments down below. For my dinner, I'm serving some of the fresh salad, and now the sweet potato fries are ready, so I'm adding a good portion on the other half of my plate. And I totally had more than half the pan, but James is not as obsessed with potatoes as me, so he never complains when I eat most of the potatoes. I'm so excited for dinner. The sweet potatoes smell amazing and the salad seems so fresh, and I just love mint, you know? I'm not sure what to watch. I don't know if you have any recommendations. I always end up watching the same thing over and over again because I'm so difficult to find something that I like. I like very uplifting things. Basically all chick flicks, comedies, anything that makes you feel good after you watch it. But yeah, I always end up watching either Friends or Gilmore Girls. Let me know if you have any recommendations for uplifting things. But for now, I'll probably watch some Gilmore Girls. I also decided to add a bit of avocado on top as I wanted that extra creamy flavor, and this took the salad to the next level. Don't skip this if you make it. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see some yummy and cheap vegan meals, you can check out this video, and I'll see you in the next one.